Hello again, everyone. As you can see, I got a different video for you tonight. Tonight we're going to be talking about the knives that I mainly use. And as you can guess by the title, the new one that I purchased. So anyways, we're going to start, we're going to start with my case here. We're going to get to this new one here in a minute, but we're just going to start with these two here because these are the ones that I currently use in this. And so anyways, this case here, it's I believe it's a Trapper. It has two blades. Oops. Forget what the name of this blade is here. But this is a spay blade, so you have two blades, and me personally, I just absolutely love case knives. They're very high quality. Well, as high quality as, let's just say, I'm willing to spend on a pocket knife. So to me, they're high quality, and I think most people would agree that they're a pretty good brand. But anyways, this isn't one of their fancy knives. It doesn't have a fancy bone handle or anything. It just has this, I think it's yellow Delrin, I think is what they call it, the handle material. So it's not fancy, it's a work knife, But anyways, the reason I purchased it is because, as with every case knife I've ever seen, it's made in USA first off, and carbon steel blades, as you can see by the rust on them. I got to be honest, I don't take as good a care of this knife as I should. I keep it oiled as much as I can, but just being out in the field and at work, I'm sweating too, so I'm sure some of my sweat gets on this blade and doesn't help it. So I think I picked this knife up for 40 bucks, maybe 4 years ago, but I'm very happy with it, and it seems to be very good steel that it's made out of. Takes an edge very nice and holds it too. But so there's the case, and for when I need a sturdier knife, one that isn't just a folder, a fixed blade with a thicker blade on it, I go to this. It's an older knife. It's been in my family for a little while anyways. It got passed down to me. Right here it says Ideal Shirt Company. I-D-E-A-L. Yeah, Ideal Shirt Company. Made in Germany. So as you can see, the blade's quite thicker. It's also carbon. And it's got a nice handle on it, nice pommel, I'm sorry, and it's got a brass finger guard. So it's a pretty knife. It's got some patina to it, it's been used. I believe it's a full tang knife, I think, and I'm almost certain it is. But anyways, with this thing, it's kind of nice. It's kind of worn too, but with it just being in my family for a while, it kind of has a bit of a sentimental value. So I decided it was time to buy something that I could readily replace if I needed to. And that's where the Mora comes in. I've never owned a Mora before. They seem to have a pretty good reputation as being affordable and of pretty good quality. And the thing that attracted me was they came with a wood handle, and they're Swedish made, and also a carbon blade. So those three elements alone, combined with the price, I paid $16 for this knife. With all those elements, it was a no-brainer for me. Here we have made in Sweden. It says Classic Craftsman 611. That's the model. They make a larger version of this, the 612. The blade's a little bit longer, so is the handle. But anyways, just to take a moment about the sheath here, something I noticed. The part where you would stick your belt through isn't very wide. I mean, it would stretch, you know, if you stuck your belt through it, but it's not very wide. But this is interesting here. See how this kind of tapers down to this circular part here? What I believe this is for if you have like a flannel shirt, you know, a shirt with buttons on it. I think what you do is, we're going to represent my pinky as the button. Slide this and it'll click into the button. So you can wear this on the front of your shirt or whatever. Or if you have pants that have buttons on them, you know. So from what I gather, that's what that's for. But I'll probably end up using it for that anyways. I think that's pretty cool. The sheath also has a little drain hole in the bottom. And with these knives, with the finger guard, they have the cutout here. So this Mora, I bought, another reason I bought it was the finger guard. I mean, a lot of them, the classics that they make, I think the 611 and 612 are the only two that have the finger guard. And I think they make another model, I think it's the 601. I'm sorry, I researched this a little while ago. I don't really remember completely, but the 601 has a finger guard down here, and it also comes up here. So you have like a whole actual guard, you know. But I figured it was just the bottom one is good enough, you know, less for it to get snagged on. But I still needed a finger guard regardless, because a lot of the times when I'm using a knife, you know, my hands are wet or they're bloody when I'm cutting a deer or something. But so a finger guard was a must. So anyways, let's what we're going to do next is we're going to take some measurements on these and compare them. After that, we'll do kind of like a sharpness test, I guess. But we'll start out with the case. Blade on this is about 3 1/4, 3 3/16 maybe. The handle's about 4 1/8. So it's a respectable size. It's for a pocket knife. I mean, it fits the hand nicely. My hand anyways. And the blade, this is generally a large enough blade to do whatever I need to do, you know. From opening boxes to skinning rabbits, gutting trout, cutting string and rope. You know, it works. That's about a good enough blade for me. So I carry this every day. You know, I carry it wherever I go. So it's about the all-around perfect knife for what I need. Moving on to the Ideal Shirt Company. Oops, let's see what we can do here. From the angle I'm reading it, roughly 3 11/16. Yeah, maybe 3 1/4, something like that. Anyways, you get the idea. The handle, we're going to measure to right before the finger guard here. It's about 3 1/2 inches. So this one doesn't fit my hand quite as nicely. I mean, as you can see, my pinky ends up, you know, kind of right. It's not, I don't know if this is like a youth knife or what, but it might just be like a smaller knife in general. Excuse me. But it just, I can make it work, but it doesn't fit comfortably, you know. But I do like the length of this blade. It's not very long. It's easy to control. So it's also easy to carry, you know. It's not some big giant Bowie knife hanging off your hip. So that's about the perfect size that I want for a fixed blade knife. So we're going to come back to the Mora now. We got a blade length of about 3 7/8. Handle length right before the finger guards 4 inches. Maybe, yeah, about 4 inches. And this handle's much more suited to my hand. You know, it still falls a little short. You know, it's kind of right in this little spot here, holding it comfortably. You know, but the 612 would have been just a little bit longer blade than I would have liked, so I can work with this. It's much more manageable than the German knife over there. As you can see, the handle's also a lot thicker, so it fills my hand quite nicely. And that's just like this German one. That's a nice blade length there. It's nice and easy to control. So, oops, there, didn't want to get cut. So anyways, we're going to, let me move these over in the light a little more so you can see them. That's a little better. So now we're going to, I just had some printer paper laying around. I guess the ultimate test would be like magazine paper, but hey, I got printer paper laying around, so. The case, I generally like to keep this fairly sharp. Basically the way that I tell that it's sharp enough, and I really don't recommend doing it, but I do it anyways, is I sharpen it and I get a real fine edge on it. What I actually do is take my arm and I'll actually take it down the side until I can shave with it. Now, like I said, I don't recommend doing that. You really shouldn't, but I've grown up with knives and sharpening them, and you know, I've grown up with them my whole life, so I'm pretty comfortable with them. But just again, I don't recommend doing it, but we're going to see how sharp it is. Oops. It's not bad. Get some nice fine cuts out of it. It's not bad. It's pretty good. Oops. Take a nice thin slice out of cardboard with it. So next, that's about as generally as sharp as I get it. You know, it's pretty good for me. I don't know about this one. I haven't sharpened it in a while. We're gonna just see if it can even cut paper. Excuse me. Let's get a better edge here. Sort of. There we go. Kind of tore it up a little bit, but it still cut it, so good enough for like rope or whatever, I guess. But that one I found was a little harder to get an edge to, but like I said, I haven't sharpened that thing in forever. So this is the Mora. We're going to try it out. This is just the factory edge that was on it. I just got this in the mail today, so I haven't touched it up or anything. And one thing I found, it seems like from here to about here, it's kind of dull. I mean, it's not bad, but up in this, where it clips, where it rounds over, it's real sharp up here. It's like a razor. But we're just going to show you the factory edge. As you can see down here, it has problems. See? But whenever we move up to the clip, pretty sharp. Like I said, this thing got a nice thin blade on it too. So another thing I wanted to point out that I didn't mention. See how this, from here to here, it's just one grind the whole way down. But if you look at like my case, it's got like a secondary grind, or even this German one. This is called a Scandi grind. That means it's just like one grind from there down. And a lot of people like this grind. It's the first knife I've ever had with this grind, and obviously the first impression I had, it's nice. I like it. But anyways, that's another thing I wanted to go over while we're on the subject of this Mora. I didn't really do a whole lot of research, but I got enough research. These aren't full tang. I know, or at least from what I've read, the older ones, they are full tang, but these ones aren't. But I mean, I got to be honest, I think it'll be okay. I looked at some videos online and seen what people done to these poor things, and they just beat the crap out of them. And I mean, I'll never do that to a knife. I respect them, you know. So I think I'll be well within my limits on that thing. So anyways, just to keep this video at least somewhat not too long, I guess, I'm pretty much going to close with that, and just wanted to show you my knives, and at least the ones that I use on a normal basis. And this, like you've seen, this edge, it's not perfect. So I'll probably end up sharpening it up on stone, and I'll probably use it for a while, and maybe in like the next couple months when I get some use out of it, I'll do a thorough review of what I thought, and maybe do a little more cutting with it, and just to show you how it's doing. But anyways, if you paid attention this whole time or watched the video, I want to thank you, and have a good night.